The two-step process to changing your identity. Your identity emerges out of your habits. You are not born with preset beliefs. So your habits are how you embody your identity. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce that identity associated with that behavior. In fact, the word identity was originally derived from the Latin word essentias, which means being, and identity, which means repeatedly. So your identity is literally your repeated beingness. And the more evidence you have for a belief, the more strongly you will believe it. And as you repeat all these actions again and again, the evidence accumulates and your self image being to change. So, your habits contribute most of the evidences that shapes your identity. The process of building habits is actually the process of becoming yourself. So, this is a gradual evolution. We do not change by snapping your fingers. So, we change bit by bit, day by day, and habits by habit. So, every action you take is a word for the type of the person you wish to become. So no single stance will transform your belief, but as votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. This is the one reason why meaningful changes does require radical change. Small habits can make meaningful differences by providing evidences of a new identity. So putting this all together, you can see that habits are the path to change your identity, and the most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. So each time you write a page, you are a writer. Each time you practice the violin, you are a musician. Each time you start a workout, you are an athlete. So the habits not only get the results, but also teaches you something far more important, which is building trust in yourself, self trust. So you start to believe you can actually accomplish these things, and when the words mount up and the evidence begins to change, the story you tell yourself begins to change as well. Of course, it works the opposite way too. So every time you choose to perform a bad habit, it's what for that identity. And the good news is that you don't need to be perfect. It doesn't matter if you cast a few words for a bad behavior or an unproductive habit. Your goal is simply to win the majority of all time. So new identities requires new evidences. So if you keep casting the same words again and again, you always cast, you are going to get the same results, and you always get the same. Your identity doesn't even change. So to change your identity, it's just a simple two-step process. Firstly, decide the type of the person you want to be, and second, prove it to yourself with small wins. Hmm. So, what do you want to stand for? What your principles and values, and what who do you wish to become? These are the basic questions and very big questions, and many people aren't sure where to begin. So for example, who is the type of the person you who could write a book? So it's probably someone who is consistent and reliable. So now your focus shifts from writing a book, means outcome based, to being the person of the person who is consistent and reliable, which is identity based. So the process can lead to beliefs like, so okay, so once you handle on the type of the person you want to be, now you can begin small. You can begin taking small steps to reinforce your desired identity. And the real concept of identity based habits is our first introduction to another theme in the book, is feedback loops. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your habit. It's a two-way street, just like a feedback loop. So the formation of all habits is a feedback loop, and but it is important to let your values, principles, and identity drive the loop rather than your results. And the focus should always be on becoming that type of person, not getting a particular item. And and this and now this we are focusing on what is the real reason behind that, why the habits matter. So identity change is the north star of habit change. But the true question is, are you becoming the type of person you want to become? The first step is not what or how, but who. So you need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, your cost for change is like a bot without a rudder. So you have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with your habits you choose today. And this brings us to deeper purpose of this book on the real reason is why habits matters. So habit habits can help you achieve all of these things, but fundamentally they are not about having something, so they are about becoming someone. Okay, habits are not about having something, they are about becoming someone. Ultimately your habits matter because they help you become the person, the type of the person you wish to be, and they are the channel through which you develop your deepest beliefs about yourself. So quite literally you become your habits. So this is the thing. Listen again. You become your habits. You become your habits. Okay. And this is our chapter summary. So there are three levels of changes: outcome based, process change, and identity based. So identity based is the most, and the most effective way to change your habit is to not focus on what you want to achieve, focus on what you wish to become. So your identity emerges out of your habits. Okay. And becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. and and this is the last, which is why the real reason behind why habit matter is not because they get you something better result, because they can change your beliefs about yourself.